All right. Hello, HTV boxing fans. It's an exciting weekend. If you're a boxing fan and you don't know why I'm saying this, then you probably don't have to be, or you don't need to be a boxing fan. But basically, it's one of the best weekends this year in boxing, and we are all looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. And if you don't know why I'm saying that again, then you don't need to be a boxing fan. But one of the one of the one of the things that is happening is big. We're going to talk about it. I'm excited. I'm off tomorrow, and I can't wait to till tomorrow. But basically, Jermell Charlo, Jermell Mell, not the other one, is fighting Canelo Alvarez. So if you're into boxing, or if this is your first time that you are seeing us, this is big. This is big for boxing. But I'm not going to do this alone. I'm not going to do this alone. I have an exciting individual that I'm privileged to have on here. Okay. She's a former boxer herself. She's an elite boxing trainer. She also has her own page in the social media space. Um, she's called Christine, and I want you to catch her on her page in the ring with Christine. You can find her on all social media outlets, on Facebook, YouTube, on Twitter, on IG, and also Threads now. Very exciting individual, and I'm privileged to have her. I'm gonna bring her on, and we're gonna get the conversation going. All right, Christine, thanks for honoring my invitation.
Absolutely, Doc. How could I not? How are
Uh,
you?
Good, good. I know you are excited. We are probably both excited for different reasons.
Yes.
And I
And
can't
I'm
wait.
going to win.
I know you're gonna win. I I can't wait to hear what your thoughts on this fight. But before we go into it, for my audience who don't know you, just a little bit about yourself. I know I did a little bit of introduction, but when I first got to know about you and the things that you do, I'm like, wow, you are like boxing together. And so
Yeah.
this is fun. So without giving away too much, just a little bit
Okay.
about yourself, who you are, what you do. Uh,
Absolutely. So I got into boxing 20 something years ago, but my first love was when I was 6 years old. Like I knew I wanted to be part of it. I was in love with it. I saw Rocky. I used to watch Howard Cosell on Sundays, Muhammad Ali, and everybody else. So I'm aging myself. But I also had a cousin who was a two-time world champion, Jesse Benavides, and on my mom's side, on my dad's side, my grandfather was a boxer. So it was just in me. Like I wanted it. There was a passion. I was the only girl. Obviously, mom wanted me to be like a ballerina and tap dancer and whatever. I wasn't into it. I was very much a tomboy. Um, so you probably hear some noise in the background. I'm actually in Colorado Springs, and I'll get to that. But I I got into a little bit of trouble when I was a teen, and so I didn't get to start my journey yet in boxing as far as training or wanting to compete or whatever. And I got pregnant, and I was pregnant for like literally 10 years, 8 years, 8 years. So I was 28 when I first walked into a gym, had 8 kids, single mom, and I knew that's where I wanted to be. And my kids wanted to join too. So we all went, we all trained, we all sparred. My kids competed. At that time, I was 28. I was like, you know what? I'm older and I have kids. I'm not sure that I want to put the limelight on me. So I was asked if I wanted to coach. And I was like, yeah, I mean, because I want to protect my kids and make sure that they're good. So I started learning from some of the OGs in Texas. They showed me everything they knew. The only problem was I'm Mexican, they were Mexican, so we had this. They had the Mexican style. It was like impose your will, be stronger. And I can remember like sparring, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way. I'm going forward, and I'm giving them everything, and I'm still getting hit. Like, what's going on? So on my own, I started doing some research, and I was like, you know what, there is better ways. Moving your head, fainting, being long, being close, like footwork, everything that I didn't learn at that time. So my kids were very successful. They were nationally ranked, and some of them went pro. And in 2007, I opened my own gym. I had met my husband, and we opened it together. And so we've been chugging right along, and we've had some great names in our gym, great pros, great amateurs. And then I had applied for USA Boxing was looking for a coach, an elite coach that could work with all the high performance athletes. So I applied, and I didn't hear anything at all. So I didn't hear anything until like 5 years later. And by that time, I was already like, you know what? I've got champions in my gym, national Golden Glove champions, national champions. I've got some pros, very successful. We're on HBO at the time, Showtime, ESPN. I don't really need it right now. But then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and sit back and do what I'm doing. Then I got a call from actually Kay Karoma, who's a very big name right now in boxing. And he said, hey, Chris, apply again. Apply at USA Boxing. So I did. And I was immediately accepted. This was almost 6 years ago. And ever since then, I've been working with the high performance elite guys and girls. And I am in heaven. So I'm here now. I did go to the last Olympics in Tokyo. But because of COVID, I wasn't able to really participate the way I wanted to. It was all behind the scenes, which is great, because we're there for the athletes. And now I have the opportunity, because COVID is no longer around, pretty much, thank God, to be more hands-on, less stipulations. And right now we're in camp because we're getting ready for the Pan American Games, which are our Olympic qualifiers. So we have a new quad. I'm very excited. I guess it was about 7 or 8 years ago that someone had invited me to do a radio show, a boxing radio show. And I was like, I didn't know if I wanted to do that either, because I did not like to be in the spotlight. And you probably can't believe it, but I was kind of shy. And, but I did accept, and we were on iHeartRadio and some other channels. And then shortly after that, I decided to move on and have my own media outlet in the Room with Christine. And now I have amazing women, Women Crushing It Wednesday, every Wednesday, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. We talk boxing. Please subscribe, because the ladies know what they're talking about. And just recently, I started on Mondays with D-Style Boxing with box topics. So, yeah, that's where I'm at today.
Well, I mean, for those that don't know, she didn't say a lot about it, but for those that do not know, when she talks about elite boxers, she's talking about the Olympians, and we're talking about the United States Olympians. So she's done it right from boxing, even though she started in her career late boxing training. Now she's at an elite trainer, because that's what she's doing now. Now, I want to be like you when I grow up.
I am much older.
But I'm pretty sure, as our title says, people, those that are watching, are here because of a reason. And so we're going to jump right into it. Okay. I want to know your thoughts. What your reaction was when you first heard about the announcement for Canelo to fight one of the Charlos. Now, I say one of the Charlos because there was a little bit of confusion there in the beginning.
Yeah.
But when you heard there was a possibility, what was your reaction to it?
Well, it's like, I think I was like everybody else. Whenever we heard it was Mel, not Mall, we were like, okay, there must be some kind of typo. Somebody made a mistake, because it happens often. We've seen it many times on social media where people mix them up, put the wrong picture, so on and so forth. So I was like, you know what? This must be another typo or something. It has to be. Mm-hmm. Even though we know that Maul hasn't fought in a while, and people are clamoring to be like, he needs to be stripped.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, okay, but you know what, Mel, cool. It's cool. And the thing that excited me the most, and you probably know I'm going to say this, is when we had the Errol Spence and Crawford fight, and Crawford in the middle of the fight got up, by the ropes and looked at Mel and was like, "You're next. You're next." But the reason why he said he was next was because he had some insight that he and Canelo were going to be going. But then again, now that we look in retrospect, he's not going to be next. But we'll talk about that because we don't agree on some things. But yeah, I thought it was a typo.
Well, typo or not, we are here, right?
We are here, and I'm here for it. I love it.
One of the Charlos is fighting. Now, we all know Ma has been out for a while. So
Yes.
I would have been surprised if it was him in the fact that he hasn't been active. And I
Sure.
felt like if you haven't been active, your first fight coming back shouldn't be Canelo.
Shouldn't be. But we see what Spence did, though. Just saying.
I think you want to go there. I mean, you're right. You're right.
No, I'm good. I'm going where you're going.
Because of inactivity, I would say this, because of inactivity on Crawford's part, I had given, because until he fought Vincent or whoever, he hadn't really been fighting. So I thought it was going to be a Spence. So you have a point there that sometimes inactivity doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Now,
and I, just to interject real quick, because Mel even said that. They're like, you know what, you haven't fought very recently, but he said, but I've been in the gym, I'm still training. So in their heads, if they're in the gym, well then that's activity, even though we know that you should be on the big stage for that to count. But he said he's been in the gym, he's been sparring, so okay.
All right. So now let me go straight to the point.
Okay.
I know you have a favorite here for whatever reason, and we're going to get to why you have that reason. Do you think JERMELL jumping 2 weight classes to fight Canelo is a smart idea? Now, I haven't asked you who you think is going to win and why.
Right. If it's a smart idea.
Particular question: do you think it's a smart idea?
Okay, so my thinking when I heard this was, I think that Canelo is too big. First of all, Canelo's not that tall, obviously, and Mel is a little bit taller, but he's stronger. He's been in those wars with these heavier guys. So I didn't think it was that smart. And then I thought I had heard that his people were saying, well, you know what? Mel's put on some weight. He's putting on some muscle. And then that further proved my point that it wasn't very smart, because you know what? More weight, more muscle sometimes slows you down, and they're thinking, oh, we'll just be bigger and stronger. And I'm like, that's not always the best remedy. So I'm very curious to see how it's going to play out.
Wow. You got some people joining us, and I got to appreciate them that are giving stars. Who, D-Star Boxing?
That's my bro. Thank you. We have a show every Monday. Tune in.
Oh, nice. Thank you very much. And then, somebody said very interesting discussion. I like that.
Thank you.
Here to support. Oh, thank you, Knockouts. You got some great supporters. Thank you for bringing them
on board. This is your channel. Your channel.
All right. So obviously, we both agree that it's not the best decision, but what's going to happen in the ring is what's going to happen, right? So tomorrow is less than 24 hours away. But I agree with you. Physically, I mean, this. You are training elite boxers. I didn't think it was the best idea. I don't know, but do you know how much they are going to earn? Any rumors? The purse?
I've heard some rumors, but I'm not sure exactly what it really is.
Okay, it must be worth it, right? Besides the fact that
it has to be.
Somebody's going to get the belts.
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm going to the big elephant in the room. And that was spun into the rest of our discussion. Who are you going with?
Well, let me ask you this. Who is the second face of boxing? He used to be the face of boxing, but who's the second face of boxing now that Bud Crawford slayed the giant.
I see. So now you have Bud as the face of boxing. So the
I do.
second face of boxing will be Canelo Alvarez.
Absolutely.
And why did you think he earned the name before we come to this fight? Why do you think he earned the name face of boxing?
Okay, well, let's think about it. So let's talk about his wins.
Mhm.
59 wins, 39 KOs. Not TKOs, KOs. Okay.
Let's put up. I'm gonna put up their tail of tape so that people know
Okay.
what you are talking about.
Absolutely. Please do that.
But there you go.
There you go, right there. And he has fought the top dogs in boxing. His
Mhm.
opposition has been the likes of Caleb Plant,
Mhm.
Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Smith, Kovaloff, Danny Jacobs, Triple G, Khan, Cotto, Lara. We can go on and on. He has proven that he was, and to some people, still the face of boxing, especially compared to his opposition that he's going to face tomorrow, who's had 35 wins,
Mhm.
19 KOs,
Mhm.
and his only loss was to Harrison. But if you go back and watch the fight, he almost lost the fight to Harrison as far as the scorecards until that, I believe it was a hook to the head or whatever. I don't know. And then I think Harrison, went in again too soon. He was off, and then he got hit again. So, but that was in the 11th round.
I think you are trying to say that without saying it, as they say in boxing. Who has he really fought? Who has Jamal?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
Exactly. And
But
at lighter weights.
but before Crawford won, people used to say that too about him.
Yeah.
So sometimes I guess it's not. I mean, it makes sense that if you fought good people, good boxers.
And I see what you're saying. You got to slay the beast.
Exactly.
I get it. I get it.
So you make a point for why Canelo. You asked me, well, you didn't say, you didn't agree with me, but you did ask me a question. Why is he, who is the face of boxing? So that answers the question. Let's come to abilities,
Okay.
technicalities.
Sure.
Charlo, if we look at that, look at her height and
Mm-hmm.
look at her reach.
Mm-hmm.
He's usually the bigger person in his weight class and
Right.
going up to, assuming he remains always that big guy here.
Mm-hmm.
He has an advantage over Canelo, looking at his reach and height. How do you think Canelo is going to counter that?
Okay, so for me, the taller guy is not always the better guy. The bigger guy is not always the better guy.
Mhm.
So if you're the smaller guy, you have to smother the punches of the longer guy, and you have to make sure that where your punches land, it's within your range. And the way to do that without getting hit is to not stand directly in front. You've got to use your slipping, you've got to roll, you've got to step a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. You have to attack and then change your angle. So there are ways. Just because someone is taller or bigger doesn't necessarily mean that they're the ones that are going to win. And a veteran like Canelo knows this. If we go back to the second fight with Harrison, and the first fight, Charlo throws some humongous right overhands and left overhands. He leaves himself wide open and he's directly in front. Not only does he do that, he does not have any kind of head movement. One thing that I tell my guys and girls is that when we're doing mitts or whenever they're in front of somebody, if she moves, he moves, you move. It's about your range. It's about what you can hit, you know. And when I'm doing mitts, I'm like, I'm moving. You need to step to the right, step to the left, step forward, step back. That's very important. Footwork is very important. And I think Canelo has the better footwork. I also think Canelo has the better feints. He can feint any shot, and he's so good at it. He's freaking smart. And I think that's very important. And I think that Mel is more emotional. But not only that, I will say this. So his trainer, Derek James,
Mm-hmm.
they just lost a huge,
Which
huge
you are a
fight.
big fan of. Let's hey, HTV boxing fans. Christine loves Derek James sarcastically. Go ahead.
I love everybody because I'm supposed to.
Okay.
God says love everybody, so I do.
Okay.
I will say this. I will say this. I believe that Mel has a lot more pressure on him because his coach, they just lost like the biggest fight of their career. Errol Spence made Derek James who he is today.
Mhm,
Derek did not make Errol Spence.
mhm.
Okay. And I'll say that on record.
You
So
do,
we
you
have,
do, and you can be challenged too. But go ahead.
and I will challenge you. But so Mel, he's got a lot of pressure. He's got a
Mhm,
lot of pressure. Not only does he have that pressure, but we already know that he and Maul, his brother, his twin, I have twins, and they're like this.
mhm.
They have issues, you know.
And I'm
Um,
going to come to that.
okay.
Remind me if I don't. I really want to know what's going on there. But land with your point.
I really don't know. I don't
There's a
know,
lot
but
of.
you know what? It's not good. It's not good. So there's that.
Mhm.
Okay. And then, so the next in line is Ryan Garcia. Well, is Mel going to prove himself to be better than Ryan Garcia? Or is he going to, I don't know. It's a lot of pressure. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of mental, emotional, and physical pressure. And does he know how to work with this weight? This is new weight. This is new muscle. Does he
Mhm.
know how to really move with it? Does he know what to do with it? Two
You
weight
make a
classes up.
you make a
Think about
great
it.
point. You make a great point. I recently saw a video of Mel, and we all know him. He's usually loud but he's kind of mellowed down. And when
Mhm.
he talks, it's like, what happened? What changed? Even in a press
Exactly.
conference. So it makes me wonder if he kind of knows what may be coming and all is not good. He's changed a little bit
Exactly.
than we normally know him. But Canelo does have a disadvantage. The wrist surgery. How do you think that's going to affect him?
I don't think he does have a disadvantage at all. I really don't.
You don't think the surgery is going to be a problem?
I don't, because did we see Lomachenko when he had his elbow surgery and elbow issues? I was one of the first ones, and I'll admit it, to say, you know what? He doesn't feel confident. He's going to be thinking about it. He's going to be worrying about it. And what did he do? He dominated.
Chris?
Sometimes,
Uh-huh,
and you're a doctor,
uh-huh.
sometimes after the surgery or after whatever, you come out better on top. He might be stronger.
You're
He
right.
might have a bionic arm.
You're
We
right.
don't
You're
know.
right. I mean, Spence did beat Ugas, right? After
Yes,
whatever. So sometimes it
absolutely.
happens. But it's never the same after a surgery, honestly. If you just look at the anatomy. So who knows? But
And
let
you know, but it could it be mind over matter? Could we say could the mind be stronger than the body?
You're right. You're right. And you make good points there that where it appears that Mel's mind is it may be a disadvantage to him. So you're right. You're right. That
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I love it.
Chris has somebody's asking. I want us to take it as it comes. Do you think Canelo lost to Lara? Canelo fan, you are being asked the question.
You know what? It was controversial. I will say that. It depends on where the judges were sitting and what they were looking for. And also, you know what? I mean, human nature. It's like there's always favoritism. Like if I want my guy to win, I'm going to see all the good things he does, and I'm not going to see the good things that the opposition is doing. So it could be a coin toss for sure.
And Chris, I kind of I wouldn't say it's a coin toss. I think I love Canelo. I've liked him until recently.
But
But I wouldn't say it was a coin toss against Lara. Actually, I was not impressed with him against Ryder. I don't know if you were, Christine. I wasn't impressed with Canelo with Ryder. I thought
you know
that.
what? I wasn't impressed. And you know what? I will say this. Like, I'm not going to say that I'm a huge fan of Canelo. I'm not. It seems like I am. In this fight, I am. But Triple G was my guy. Like, Triple G was my guy. And to me, he won those fights. Okay. So I'm not, I don't want to come off like this Canelo like cheerleader. But in this fight, I am. And I haven't been the biggest fan of him in past because I see what you're seeing too. But I just feel at this moment, at this time, that he's going to come out on top.
I agree with Kwame. It was very sluggish on Canelo's part. Honestly, after Bivol, after Ryder, I still
Yeah.
think with this particular one, or I'll tell you who I'm going to go with.
Yeah, I mean, I think we know, but go ahead.
I think we know too. All right, so both of these guys, I think, got power.
Yeah.
Mel got power. Canelo got power. Are you expecting a knockout?
You know what? I've been asked this before. I really believe that Canelo will drop Mel at least once, possibly twice. But I do not believe there's going to be a knockout. I believe that it's going to be a decision and that the knockouts will affect the decision. That's my prediction.
Okay, okay. And it will be a decision in favor of Canelo.
Canelo, yes.
All right. So I wanted to revisit the what have you heard? And if you are not comfortable, you don't have to say it.
Okay.
What have you heard is going on between the Charlos?
I mean, I don't, obviously everything's rumor and speculation. I've heard things that are out there on social media, like anybody can look up, as far as the mothers of the children and things like that. I think it was more of the baby mamas, wives, whatever, that had the conflict. And then obviously, you're gonna be with your woman or whatever. Those are some of the things that I've heard. Obviously, I don't know. I don't have insight. And to be totally honest, I don't care because I'm a boxing fan, and all the extra rah and stuff. I try not to get involved in it. I try not to judge people based off their personal life. I try to look and see what they're doing in the ring.
But you did talk about the mental aspect of it.
Yes. And I do think for him that would affect. I do. I do believe that. Because like I said, I have twins. They're boy-girl twins, and when one's mad at the other, it really affects them. I mean, there's more of a connection that they have than just normal siblings. There is. I've seen it. I've experienced it. They're about to be 26, so it's been since they were born.
So the mental aspect aside, technically, you still think Canelo is superior over Jamal?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, go back and look at some of Mel's fights. He's very wide. He's very reckless. I know that sometimes you have to take a shot or two to give possibly the knockout shot or whatever. But I do believe that he's very emotional. He's emotional in the ring, and therefore he's careless. Has he beat his opposition? Yeah, he has. But like I said, when we look back, the people that he's won against, what? Okay. Gabe Rosado, respect to him, but I'm just saying, Lubin, Trout at the end of his career, Castano, that was a good one, but it was also a split decision. So, and then we look at Canelo's resume and the people that he's won against. I just believe that Canelo's going to come out with his arm raised.
So I watched an interview of Charlo with Jim Lampley of PP.
Sure, yeah.
And Charlo did say that his strategy will be not to go for a knockout, but stay focused, stay dominant, and go all the 12 rounds. So he already thinks he's going to go to decision.
Okay, and I think that's good. I agree with the decision. The thing that worried me was I saw another interview, and I don't remember where, because there's so many interviews coming out, where Mel said, I'm going to give my Mexican fans what they want, and I'm going to bang with Canelo. To me, that's a big mistake. Don't bang with him. Outbox him.
So you think it's a good strategy to think about going the distance,
I
box?
think it's a great strategy to think about that, and I think it's a better strategy to box him, to feint him, to make him throw, and not to bang with him. Like when he said that, I was just like,
Hmm.
don't give anybody what they want because they're not the ones in the ring. You have to do what you need to do to get the W.
What do you think should be Canelo's strategy?
Well, I think Canelo pretty much has a strategy. I believe that he's going to be feinting every punch. I believe that he's going to go to the body. I
Hmm.
believe he's going to be very patient. And I believe he's going to wait for Mel to
Hmm.
come within arm's reach where he can sit on his punches and hurt him. I think that he's very mature. His ring IQ is very strong. And I don't think that he's as desperate
Hmm.
as Mel is.
Okay. Now, should Canelo win,
Okay.
who should he fight next? And I want to say the same thing for Charlo too, because I've heard different
Well,
things.
well, who should he fight? My guy, the king. Who's the king right now? Who
Your
said?
guy
I'm just saying he needs to fight
from
Bud Crawford.
Nebraska.
Bud Crawford. I'm,
So
I'm,
any
I'm
of them,
retired.
should any of them win, Crawford is next.
Absolutely. And Charlo, Crawford. I mean, Crawford told him. But Crawford even believes that Charlo's not going to win. He's like, I'm getting ready for Canelo. Like I'm ready for Canelo. So either one, the only one
Hmm.
they can possibly fight, where I, as a boxing fan, would be totally satisfied and pay freaking $200 pay per view. I don't care, or I'll go if I'm
Hmm.
not in camp.
Hmm.
Is either one of these guys? Either one, whoever wins.
And then you already answered this question about we discussed the weight, the moving two weights up. Do you do you think is the main reason why most people think Charlo is going to lose? Or this is not you, but in the boxing, because you just said Crawford said Charlo is going to lose. He's getting ready for Canelo.
Yeah.
I think Chris has asked me who I thought was going to win. Since we are there, I will say that I think Canelo is going to win too. I'm calling it.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought you were going the other way.
No, no, no. I'm calling it for Canelo for decision two, and I have my reasons.
Okay.
But
I want to know them.
yeah, why do you think everybody, the two of us, think that Charlo, is it because of the weight, or is just they think that Canelo is better? And if that's the case, why would they make this match up if it sounds like it's a mismatch in the first place?
I think personally, it's
Hmm.
everything. I think it's people think because of the weight gain. Like to
Hmm.
me, that's a very novice amateur move to think that if you put on more weight, you're
Hmm.
going to win. To me,
Hmm.
that is not very smart when it comes to a nutritionist or a strength and conditioning coach because you move and you're more agile without all the bulk. So to me, that is a very amateur move, and I'm very surprised or not, with his team. Because I don't know, besides Derek James, who his team is. I don't know who the nutritionist is, the strength and conditioning coach, but obviously, in my opinion, they have not been affiliated with boxing very long. I don't know.
All
I'm
right.
just saying. And then and then as far as the mental and emotional,
Mhm.
with the falling out with his brother and all that that's going on, and then the pressure because his coach, just they lost the biggest fight of their career. There's a lot of variables there, and that is why I believe he won't win.
I completely agree with you, and I also just I was hiding it. I think technically, Canelo is just superior. I think his ring IQ is higher than Charlo.
Absolutely.
I think, like you said, he has better movements than Charlo. Power, I think they have almost. I don't think any of them has one or the other in terms of power, but I think that technically Canelo is superior. So if already Charlo is lacking technically, and then there's also these other outside extenuating stuff and mental stuff, it almost looks like a loss in the bag. Now, I'm hoping we both don't we don't come back to our words when tomorrow night is over. That would
Hey,
be
if I have to eat crow, I will. No problem. Because I would not mind watching Bud beat up Mel.
that but that will be the I don't know. That would be so strange. Oh, that would be so strange with all the factors that we have outlined. But this is
It
boxing.
would be strange, but like I said, everybody has an off night. And if Mel wins, I'm okay with it because I would not mind seeing either one of them beat up by Bud. I wouldn't.
And I think this style boxing makes a great point. It sometimes you don't have it's not the big. And like we said earlier, Mel always with the fights that he's had always looks like the bigger guy. And
Yeah,
so maybe he's thinking,
right.
oh, then if I just add more weight, then I'm even going to be bigger. But sometimes
It's
that's
not
not
the
it.
size of the boat, it's the motion in the ocean.
I like that. I like that. I like that. We're going to go back to this, but I want us to deviate a little bit and just come to boxing this year. Okay. Now, I know you're a bigger fan of PBC.
I am, thanks to you.
But
Thanks to you and Bud. Love
but
PBC. Mwah.
yeah, you love it. And I hope our mutual friend gets to see how lovely
Absolutely.
you are with the
I
right.
love y'all. Absolutely.
Do you think boxing is delivering this year?
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. I mean, first of all, we had Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, PBC. Okay.
PBC.
Now we're having Charlo and Canelo, PBC.
The facts don't lie.
The facts don't lie. The facts don't lie.
Hey, let's not forget Garcia and Tank.
Exactly.
PBC.
No, there's absolutely. Like I'm here for it. I'm so excited. Absolutely.
And we just heard. I just heard. I mean, it's not PBC, but I think it's big for boxing that Usyk and Fury have signed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So
that gets me going.
So this year looks like boxing is doing well, but I think it's being delivered by PBC.
Yes, absolutely.
Which other big fight do you want to see before the year ends?
Well, I mean, they just announced the Fury fight, so I mean that was something that I wanted to see for sure.
Sisu, they wanted. Somebody wanted to see. Where did I read it at? There's another fight that has also escaped me, but it looks like the bigger ones have been done already.
Yeah, the bigger one. I mean, this year has been phenomenal, and it's going to end phenomenal. Like I'm so super excited. As a boxing fan, I am just happy. Let me just say that. Yeah.
I want us to, before we end up, we have a few more minutes. So you gave your prediction already. Let's go going back to Charlo and Canelo. You gave your prediction already. You think Canelo is going to win by decision?
Yes.
How bad do you think Charlo is going to be bad at? Compared to Spence Crawford, which we didn't, a lot of people, including, well, you know where I was, didn't expect it to be that bad. Are you expecting similar tomorrow? Or you think it will be a bit of a close fight?
I think that the Bud Spence fight was the worst. I think that Canelo Charlo won't be as bad.
Really?
I don't think that Charlo is going to be dropped 3 or 4 times. I think 1 for sure, possibly 2, and it's not going to be a wash. So Spence Crawford was a wash. Like, it was a wash.
Oh,
there was not one round that Spence won. Not one.
Hey, I gave him round 1. Did I get it wrong?
Go back. Go back.
Somebody reminded of AJ versus Wilder. That's the one I was trying to think about. You think it's going to
Oh,
happen?
you know what? I would like to see that too.
Yeah.
I'm not. People that know me know I'm not a big Wilder fan, and I'm not a big AJ fan. So I'm not that excited about it. But you know what? If it happens, I'll pay for it. You know.
Okay. Okay. Tank versus Shakur. That's not going to happen. You
You
think?
know what? Listen, if that happens, I'm so excited. I believe
Hmm.
Shakur is the future. Like he's the present, he's the future.
Really?
Um, Tank is strong. He is, but I think Shakur is very technical and he's strong as well.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So let's go back to our discussion. You don't think it's going to be as bad as Spence and Crawford? You
I
think
don't. I don't.
that's a bit surprising,
Yeah,
but yeah.
really.
I mean, look at how or I guess the publicity for that fight compared to this one. But you got a technical eye, you've been in there, so you can tell which is going to be bad or not. But
Yeah.
they didn't promote this fight as much as they did that one.
No, they didn't. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay because you know what? Bud has not been promoted the way he needed to be. So it's okay. And this fight, I mean, like I said, Canelo's now number 2 for me, the face of boxing. So he's not going to get as much as the Bud Spence, in my opinion.
Okay.
Um, but I
So,
think that the beatdown won't be as bad.
but it's going to happen, and it's going to be
But
12
it's going to
rounds,
happen.
and you're sticking
Absolutely.
with it.
I'm sticking with
Why?
it.
Why, including myself? I mean, two boxers with both power, and we still think it's going to go down to the last bell. Why is that? Defensiveness of both fighters, or what do you think? Or you think the
The reason
strategy is going
why
to be
why I
different?
personally
Hmm.
why I think that is because at this time of Canelo's career, he's more
Hmm.
patient. He's not as hungry. I mean, let's let's think about it. He's got all the money in the world, and he's going to get more. He doesn't have to be. He's not starving. He's not
Hmm.
trying to like make his way or prove his point because he's
Hmm.
already done that. So he's going to be more patient.
Hmm.
If he was hungrier, he'd probably knock him out. But that's why I believe that it's going to go the distance. He doesn't have to prove anything else. Like he really doesn't. I mean,
Okay.
if he let's say he wins, right?
Hmm.
And then he fights Bud.
Hmm.
Who else can he fight? He's done.
You're
He
right.
can retire. He can sail off into the moonlight and he'll be fine.
You're right. You're right. What advice would you have for Charlo after a loss? Go back down.
I mean, I don't want to be ugly, but I wouldn't give him any advice
Ooh.
because he's not my guy.
Okay, let's take the guy. He's not my guy. Let's just look at him as a boxer who just moved up 2 weight classes
So okay,
after a
I'll tell
loss.
you what. You know what? I'll tell you what I'd say.
Hmm.
So we have sports psychologists up here.
Hmm. Hmm.
I believe that they're very important.
Hmm.
I also believe that nutritionists are very important. I believe that strength and conditioning coaches are very important, but not just any nutritionist, not just any sports psychologist,
Hmm.
not just any strength and conditioning coach. You have to get guys and girls that are specific to boxing because it's different. It's not
Hmm.
like any other sport.
Hmm.
So I believe that if somebody wants to be the top dog and they've experienced a loss or what have you,
Hmm.
they need to get people that are specialists in the sport. And that would be my advice. And my advice might be to like shop around for a different coach too.
What's I don't want you to go there because I know you are now the biggest fan of PBC. But what's
Oh,
with
I love
this?
PBC. What are you talking about?
What's this love for
I
Derek
love
James?
PBC.
What's this love you got for Derek James, man? You think his I think I saw somewhere in one of your shows. Do you think coach of the year, trainer of the year that he got was a fluke? I told you I was going to ask you a tough question.
No, I like it. I love it. Bring it on. You know what? At that time, at
Uh-huh.
that moment,
Mm-hmm.
whenever he was coach of the year, I
Mm-hmm.
think it was very apropos.
Okay.
And now we're in a new year. So let's see what happens.
Who you got? Who you got trainer of the year? You see in jail
Bomac,
somewhere?
Bomac,
Oh man.
Red, Saul,
I
but they're all one. There's no jealousy. Derek had criticized,
Mhm.
that Bud needed three coaches. Well, let's see what happened. And then now, I mean, we've heard rumors that other boxers that he has, they have other coaches too. They brought other people in too. You know what? One pair of eyes is not always the best. Up here at
Mhm.
USA Boxing, there
Mhm.
is our head coach, Billy Walsh.
Mhm.
There's TJ, there's Chad, there's
Mhm.
me, and then we
Mhm.
have two rotating coach, Pete
Mhm.
and Adonis.
Mhm.
So that's six. I'm just saying.
Mhm. Mhm. Is that what's going on up there with the camp? That is usually just one person in charge. In charge. Is that what you hear? Is that
I
what you
mean,
do know for sure?
that's the rumor. And
That's the
and I
rumor.
and after the interview
Mm-hmm.
about the criticism of him
Mm-hmm.
having three coaches,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what does that tell you?
Now, another tough question. It's
Okay, let's
it's
go.
it's top rank an ex of yours right now.
Is Top Rank what? I'm sorry.
An ex. It seems like you have left top rank and now
No,
with
I
PB.
love Top Rank. I do. I love Top Rank. I mean, a lot of my guys, and I mean, I say my guys, but guys that I've worked with in the past that were past Olympians
Mm-hmm.
that I love and respect are there. I love all of the promoters because I understand the business. I understand what they're doing, and they're giving opportunities to not only the present but the future. So I have to respect them, and I love Top Rank. I love PBC, Golden Boy, all of the top ones. I give them support because we have to think deeper. Like those are guys that have been working since day one, and the amateurs, most of them, and that have come up and proven themselves. So anybody that's going to give them opportunities, I give them respect.
What happened to Crawford though while he was there?
But you know what? I get what you're saying. I totally understand. But when the cards are aligned and then things will happen in your favor. Do I think that there's any promotional company that is perfect? No, I don't. Because at the end of the day, and we know this, it's business and it's about money. It
Mm-hmm,
is.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yes,
mm-hmm.
they give the opportunities, but at the end of the day, it's about money because when we put money forth, we want to get an investment back.
You're right.
So I don't, maybe he was mismanaged. He said he was, but okay, now he's his own boss and he is the boss. So sometimes, and I'm sure that you can attest to this too, we can think back to our past whenever we've had these jobs where the
Mm-hmm.
boss was taking advantage of us, but we had a goal and we were trying to get somewhere. And so we had to go through the fire to get where we are today.
You're right, and I agree with you. If you are just joining us, I have Christine online with me right now. She hosts In the Ring with Christine. You can find her on Facebook, all the social media outlets, YouTube as well, Twitter. Follow her. She has some great content, and I love her energy. She has the knowledge about boxing, and she has the experience as well doing big things now. We're going to end soon. We have 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Christine, what I want to know is when now Crawford Spence, we heard is now going to happen again. I don't want you to opine on what's going to happen again. But when you heard the rumors that Crawford didn't want to fight at 154, but apparently has agreed to.
Right.
You think that is going to make a difference? I'm not saying who you think is going to win. Technically, in the ring, is that weight difference? Because I mean, Spence looked drained.
Yeah.
You think it's going to make a difference?
Okay, let's say that Crawford said, okay, you know what, 154, let's go. It would make a difference. But let me ask you a question. You're in a war, okay? And you're able to call the shots. Are you going to give your opposition the advantage that they want to beat you?
No. But if we agreed mutually.
No. This is the agreement.
Okay.
In the contract, the winner picks the weight. Now, after a fight, you get out of the ring. You are excited. Adrenaline is going. And someone asks you, will you fight him at 154? Yeah, I'll fight him at 154. I just beat him and I'll beat him again. But then you go back with your team. You think about it and you think about your strategy. And why would I give my opposition the upper hand in his mind or even a slight advantage to beat me? Absolutely not.
Okay. So you think talking back or going back on his words, I don't know whether words or paper.
Well, it wasn't in the contract. If it was in the contract, there would be a legal issue. Tell me that there's never been a time that you are not emotional about a decision. And then once you can go back home and think about it, you haven't said, you know what, that's not the best thing for me and my family.
You're right. You're right. Christine, I know you're a Crawford fan.
Absolutely.
I until his last fight, I was one of the fans that were bemoaning the fact that he's not fighting, or at least he's not fighting top
bigger
people.
Things coming.
Yeah. Our mutual friend has promised that another big announcement is coming.
I know, I heard that.
It makes me wonder what it is.
Me too. What is it? Let us know. We won't tell.
but I don't know if any PBC, maybe they will outdo themselves right now. But why has, and this is my last comment on PBC and Top Rank and Golden.
Okay.
Why does it look like, or what do you think is the reason why it looks like things have shifted and PBC is doing all these big fights?
Man, you know what? I can't even tell you. Like, I don't know, but I'm like here for it. I'm so excited. I am. It's like, I'm not really sure what's going on, but when do we ever know what's really going on behind closed doors?
True.
We think we know, we can speculate, but do we really know?
Boxing is one of those things. For all you know, Al and Bob are smoking cigars and making decisions, and we are here thinking they are on one path.
But you know what? I am so happy. Like, I'm gonna give you props. Like, I'm so happy. So those that don't know, so Doctor has come and worked with two times working with Team USA. And the kids love him, the coaches love him. I am so grateful and love you too. And not until the second trip when we went to England did I find out that you were so connected. Like, I was like, because we get doctors all the time, but they're like, boxing, I really like basketball, I really like this, but I'm doing this, or whatever. And then when you told me that you were like a pure boxing fan, and I was just like, oh my God. And then your connection to PBC, and yes.
Hey, I love Top Rank too.
Yes, good. Me too.
Give me, on this flight, we have 7 minutes. Give me your last thoughts on this particular fight. And for your people watching you and the people of my fans watching, what are your thoughts, your overall thoughts on this fight? And also, I want you to state, so that we have it on record, how you think it's going to end. Because after the fight, I'm going to do a post-fight, and I want to tell people you called it. What's your overall thought and why you think it's going to end the way
it's going to decision. I think Canelo is the smarter fighter. He's the more mature. He has the bigger IQ. His feints are unbelievable. He doesn't just feint the jab. He feints the right hand, the uppercut, the hook, everything. He's just technically more sound. He's smarter. You don't know what's going on in his personal life, so we don't know the emotional part. I mean, when his brother was kidnapped years ago, we didn't know until after the fact. He's not putting things on the forefront. And I think that the big mistake that Mel and Maul make is they put everything on social media. You know, their rivalry, the baby mama drama, the wife stuff, like everything. Like I think that's the big mistake. I think that social media can be very helpful, but I think it can be hurtful too. So Canelo is going to come out with his hand raised. I believe he'll drop Mel at least once, possibly twice, and it's going to decision.
One of our fans, who shares your last name, thinks that Canelo is going to win by TKO
Okay.
in round 10. That's close.
I can get it. I can deal with that.
All right. So, HTV boxing fans, Christine in the ring with Christine thinks Canelo is winning. It's going to win by decision. I'm with her. We both are putting our, I guess, technical knowledge, our opinions on the line. If it doesn't go our way, hold us to it. But we have
Crow. Give me some hot sauce. I'm down.
We have reasons. She has stated, summarized some of them. Just the factors are just too many for Charlo to win. And for boxing fans, we'll look forward to who essentially fights Crawford next, which is most likely going to be Canelo. Yes. And that's going to be another big one because Crawford now has agreement with PBC, right?
Yes.
So it's probably
one more fight with him.
So it's probably going to be.
What I heard, I don't know.
Well, after Spence,
there was one more after Spence. I think there was a 2-fight deal. So yeah.
So most likely
that's what I've heard. I don't know.
Okay.
Same.
We don't like to rumor. So most likely it's going to be on PBC. Because Canelo also has something with PBC too, right?
Yes, yes.
So most likely PBC is going to do another big fight, if not this year, next year, most likely. And
I just want 2% of their paychecks.
I'm surprised you have not heard rumors about the purse for tomorrow. I'm curious. We're gonna call our friend. Maybe
yeah. Let's call our friend.
Our friend will let us know. Cause I mean, so when I heard about the Mel issue, the reason why I asked you is, and then we're gonna end. I thought it was because it was supposed to be Mal, and he was mad that Mel had taken it from him. So I thought that was the reason, but
that's the possibility.
There could be other reasons as well.
Okay.
But Christine, thank you very much for coming.
Much,
I'm gonna have you on again probably for the next.
Please do.
And then we'll talk again. It was nice having you again. My fans is Christine. From what In the Ring with Christine.
In the Ring with Christine. Every Monday, I have boxing topics, and every Wednesday, Women Crushing It Wednesday. Tune in, please subscribe, and let's go. We're talking boxing always.
And it's not just women boxing. All types.
No. We talk men, women. Like I started with men. Like women have been recent, like 6 years ago. Okay. So no, I deal with it all, men and women. Let's go. Pros and amateurs. Let's go.
We do it all. All right, Christine. Until we talk again, I'll see you in the backside.
Thank you so much.
All right. HD Boxing fans, thanks for tuning in. This boxing here. We love boxing. This was our opinions on the fight coming with Canelo and Charlo. Is going to be tomorrow. We are excited. It's going to happen. It's good for boxing. And Christine and I both are on the same side. Regarding how we think it's going to turn out. If you think otherwise and you are watching this, make sure you leave your comments in the comment section, give your reasons for it. But the factors are pretty significant of why Charlo is going to lose and why Canelo is going to win. But until then, it's the Boxing Doc, and it's me from Ace TV Boxing. If this is your first time joining us on YouTube, please subscribe. If this is your also first time tuning in on Facebook, please follow us. We bring you the latest in boxing, all the news, everything you need to know about boxing. We are the home of boxing. International, local in the United States, some of the amateur ones, we bring it all. We love you. And this is, again, the Boxing Doc, and this is Ace TV Boxing. See you later. See you tomorrow. We probably will do a post-fight analysis of the fight. And I'm going to have some fans on and also some boxing enthusiasts. Talk to you later.